Hey guys, it's Becky. I am back with another layout. This is for Mini Kit Monday, and this is layout number 1 for March 2019. You can see in the top hand corner there is a layout right there. I'm going to kind of scrap lift this. This is actually one of the first layouts I did on YouTube, and I just thought it'd be really neat to go back and scrap lift it. I do not recommend going back and watching that video, but you can watch this one. It should probably be okay. So I guess it was about March 2018 when I had started Mini Kit Monday. So this is pretty exciting. We have reached our 1 year mark. Actually, it's been a little over 1 year now, right? It would have been 1 year at the end of February. And first, Traci joined, and then the next month, Kathy joined, and then Daisy, and then Dollie. And then just a couple months ago, Leslie joined, and this month we have another new person, and her name is Shannon. Her YouTube channel is so crafty. I'll have her linked down below along with all the other ladies that are doing Mini Kit Monday. I just feel really excited about it because it has been a year, and this just started kind of as a whim. I just, wanted to try something different, and, that's just how it started. And then Traci contacted me, and then Kathy, and now we're all just friends. It's really fun. We're just like this little friend group now. It's really a good time. Let's talk about the layout though. I did change it quite a bit from the original one. Now though, you can see that photo that's in the original one. That's not something I would probably do at this point in time, but I still went with the general idea of it. I went ahead and did the angles, but they're kind of doubled them up and layered them. I am going to stick them on this one vertical piece. I end up having to trim down that triangle just a little bit, and I will pull out my sewing machine and stitch on that as well. Now the piece that's over on the right hand side, the other angle that's on the right hand side of the original one, that I don't even use at all. So the photos I'm going to be scrapbooking, one's of me and one is of a Burger King bag. This is, believe it or not, a travel photo. This is when we were in Seville, and Jim was starting to get better. Well, you might not remember, especially if you haven't been with me for a while, but he was sick for several days on that trip. I want to say probably at least 6 days on that trip. And in Seville, there was one of them. And one night when we were in Seville, he was starting to feel a lot better and felt like he could hold down food. And he was like, I could sure go for some Burger King. And I'm like, I know where there's a Burger King. Because when we went to Seville, a lot of times he'd still be sleeping in the morning. So I'd go out for walks. And I found a Burger King. It was about a mile away from the hotel probably. So I said, I know where there's a Burger King. It's right around the corner, which not 100% true. It was around the corner and down the road a little ways. So I went down there and got Burger King and then walked back with it. And he was so super grateful that I had done that. And so I'm calling this Wife of the Year because I got a lot of brownie points for doing that, guys. A lot of brownie points for doing that. Okay, so let's go ahead back to the layout. I did end up adding another piece of pattern paper, and it is to the left-hand side of that main horizontal block. The main reason why I did that, and I'm also going to use that same paper right here to map my photos. The main reason I did that is because I was also doing a challenge at a cherry on top, and I believe I entered this into the pattern paper challenge, and you had to have 5 or more pattern papers. So that is the main reason I added another paper in there. This is a paper that was in my kit, so I didn't, go out of my way to find another piece of pattern paper, and it ends up working out pretty good. This side of the paper I didn't really think I would ever use. It's not my favorite. A lot of the Pink Fresh Studio papers are way too graphic for me. I don't know. They just have a weird vibe, and they're hard for me to use sometimes. Right here I did pull out this thicker sheet by Chamel, and I took the W off of work and the IFE off of the word life and joined them together and made it say wife, because that's going to be part of my title, Wife of the Year. Go ahead and mount my photos on that graphic paper. It's going to take me a minute to figure out where I want the title. You can see in the original layout the title is above, so that's what I was thinking of at first, but I am going to end up moving it over to the right hand side, and the title will just be over to the right of the photos. It works out pretty good right there. And I am also going to pull out some other alphas. They are the Paige Evans alphas, and that's where I finish off spelling of the year. I'm just going to put down of now, and then I'll come back later and finish it off. I got distracted by all those pretty embellishments you can see in that bowl right up there at the top of the screen. I love every embellishment that is in this. All these, what was this called? Indigo Hills 2? Man, guys, I'm really happy that I had gotten the embellishments and just a couple papers from this. I love them. I wanted to use everything, and you can see right here where I'm going through things, I am putting basically everything on the page. Everything that is a purple or a navy, I am putting on there. I end up using a little bit of that peach color as well toward the end. Now, I did take a camera out and put it over to the left hand side of the word of, because there was that big blank space. If I would have put of the, it would have been too long. So I just put of and figured I'd fill in that space right there. I do fill it in, but I don't end up keeping the camera there. When we will cut away here in a minute, and when we come back, I'm going to go ahead and start sticking things down. What I end up with is 2 frames at the top. That little flower bit that's at the bottom left, that, and then there's like a word phrase square. I will tell you what it says here in a minute. I am going to end up, because I went through all the die cuts right here, right? And I try to put so many. Here is where I go and start pulling out the chipboard pieces. So I am going to use this chipboard frame and then that paper frame that's still down there. I do have a, what is that called? A rainbow underneath there, but I end up taking that away. Thank goodness, because that is a really cute rainbow, and I didn't want to waste that hiding behind something. I do take out several of the chipboard hearts. One of them is going to fill that space to the left-hand side of. I will cut away me putting down the alphas because I am going to have to adjust them a little bit. I did not right here. I did not leave myself enough room to put the year. So I have to redo it and start from the right-hand side and work inwards. Here I'm just making sure it's straight. I'm going to go ahead and commit to this cluster down here, and like I said, it is just that floral piece, and then there's like this little rectangular, and it has a square. It says, be the reason someone smiles today, and he was smiling when I brought him his Burger King. I am going to pop that up on some foam tape and stick it down right there. Now, for my finishing touches, I don't end up using it in enamel dots. Now, I do end up using 2 of the chipboard hearts, like I said. The one that goes by of, and then that one I'm putting down right there. But instead of using enamel dots or anything like that, I am going to pull the sparkly dots out of that thicker pack from Chamel that I pulled the word wife out of, which wife was not actually a word that was in there. I just used a W from one of the words and an IFE from the life word. So I am going to put down those dots around the page. Now, I do end up adding some splatters, and because Leslie and I had recently did a Thrifty Thursday and I had to pull out my watercolors, I still have my Kuretake watercolors sitting out when I did this layout. So I'm like, that watercolor set has a gorgeous navy blue in it. So I do end up pulling out that watercolor. So I didn't pull it out. It was already sitting on my desk. I just got it wet. And that's what I'm going to use to make splatters around the page. I do end up just taking a wipe right here. It's dry already, so it's not going to ruin my photos or anything, and cover up the main part of the photos. I don't know how watercolor looks when it's splattered on a photo. I do let my Heidi Swap Color Shine get on the photo. Watercolor, I don't know what that would do or what it would look like. Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to go check out Traci, Kathy, Daisy, Dollie, Leslie, and now Shannon. Make sure you go over and say hey to Shannon. Welcome her to the group. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.